Hello, everyone. This is Bill Apter, and I just finished taping an episode of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler, or Tyler and Mike. They're brilliant hosts. You've got to listen. You've got to see. Count It Out. Yeah, I endorse it. They've got the After Chat seal of approval.
Hey, everybody. Carrie Silken, Ring of Honor Ambassador. And I'm on here with Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Check us out.
Well, we are live, pals. And as you heard at the top of the show, welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approve. Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler. I am joined by the one and only Mojito Mike. Mike, what's up, brother?
I'm tired. It's late.
Yeah.
We're suckers. We do this to ourselves. We do this at fucking in the middle of the goddamn night for some fucking reason.
Midnight o'clock. Here we are.
Midnight o'clock. And it's always 2 o'clock by the time we're recording showtime. And one of us, if not both of us, is always in the bag. We're not smart people.
I mean, we do it to ourselves, but it's for the love of the game. And there's no better time to talk about wrestling than when you're drinking with your best buddy, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
All
right. So big show this week. Mike, you're going to be doing the top 7 Ring of Honor final battle matches.
Would you say it's a very special edition?
No. It's not
okay, because every fucking episode of Counted of the classic match classroom is a very special. Have you noticed that about yourselves?
You know, I say that a lot for this show as well. Especially when we have a guest on, I'm always like very special edition.
And it's not just you. It's Anthony too, because he always puts it in the fucking write up. Because I'm the one. Because I go and I copy the write up for the webpage every fucking week of this special edition. I'm like, is it any more special than last week? You little
I mean, we do special things all around on the Count It Out family, buddy.
I'll tell you what will be special. It'll be special when Anthony finally admits that the 1997 Bad Blood Hell in the Cell is the greatest Hell in the Cell in history.
100%. At least he agreed with me that the build for Survivor Series 97 sucked with Brett and Sean. It got the first ever failing grade in the history of Classic Match Classroom. F.
Wow.
It was bad. I told you. I know. You know what? This is kind of a conversation I want to have really quick because I know you've got a surprise debate topic here that you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put this out here. I'm going to say the same thing I said to Anthony as well. I don't think that D-Generation X is one of the greatest factions of all time anymore.
I know. We talked about this off air. I don't agree with you. I won't agree with you.
Well, let me say my reasons for the people listening to this before they're like, well, you fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. Go watch anything 1997 D-Generation X and try not to turn the channel these days. It is bad. It is bad, 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 right? I'm going to be rewatching the DX and Nation feud.
That was bad.
See, that's what I remember being amazing. I love the DX Nation feud. And that's going to be...
Even as a teenager, I didn't like it because of all the stupid racist shit.
I didn't find they went too racist other than when they went X-Pac did the blackface. That was really bad, but I didn't think the rest of the build... Sorry. You're right. You're thinking of the Heart Foundation bill.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
because when the Nation got involved, and they were blamed, they were accusing the Heart Foundation of being racist and saying that Brett called them the N-word and shit like that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was
absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. There's no place for that shit in wrestling. So the DX, this is how I'm breaking it down. See what I did there? Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Break it down. If the DX and the Nation feud sucks, then that's it for me. DX is not even a top 10. If the DX Nation feud holds up, all right, you're in there, but like, because I don't like the first incarnation DX. I love the X-Pac New Age Outlaws incarnation. I remember it very fondly from my childhood, and I didn't like the DX where they feuded with Vince. I just didn't do anything for me. So Degeneration X is in trouble with my books.
Okay.
I also want to give a quick shout out to our good friends, Wrestling on the Rise podcast. I was talking over there at the Barry Wrestling Show this weekend. Just such a great dude. His block was great in the tournament. He's going to come on our show and do some collaboration with us. Go check out some of his work over there. Just fantastic stuff. Got to give a plug to the Wrestling on the Rise podcast.
Right on.
So I don't want to talk about the cuts this week. Do you?
Kind of.
Okay.
Not really.
Because you told me off air you didn't, so I was just trying to be cool, but fucking sandbag me.
Well, you'll find out in a minute what I mean. I don't want to go into detail. We don't need to list them off, and we like we've done in the past. There's no point. There's no. I couldn't even begin to say where I want people to go, where I think people are going to go.
Ring of Honor,
especially now with Ring of Honor gone,
Did any names surprise you on the list at least? Sad. How about I ask you that? Did any names surprise you? Keith Lee? Yeah. I was surprised by Kieran Cross.
I got the idea that Vince wasn't high on carrying them, and you put him in that S&M shit. So
see, this is weird because that's where I thought Vince was high on him, because Vince is weird like that. I was not surprised by Keith Lee.
And now apparently the reason he got on the chopping block was because he wasn't over on Raw. So no shit, he wasn't over. You dressed him up like fucking God knows what. So yeah, no.
Frankie Monet too. Taylor.
Big surprise.
That one I was pretty pissed about too. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it sucks, and hopefully, there's so much talent that's been released there, and they're all talented. Like a lot of them are going to bounce back, and we've seen it in the past with talent getting released, and it's not the end of the world for them. Their skills will shine, and there's a great amount of wrestling in the world for them to find right now.
Well, here's what I want to do with this. Before we went on air, I sent to you a little list of every wrestler that worked during the Attitude Era, from 1997 to 2001, which, say what you want about the era, whether it's your favorite or it's not, it doesn't really matter. Nobody can take away that it was wrestling's biggest boom period.
Yep. Okay.
So let's take wrestling's biggest boom period, and let's go Nick Khan on the son of a bitch. So let's say that Vince McMahon comes to you and says, you need to take 10 people off that roster. Who do you take off?
First of all, when was Tito Santana in the Attitude Era? Because he's on this list.
There's a few people on the list I'm questioning. That must have been on just like.
Same with Carino. I don't remember Carino being there.
Carino was he involved at all in the invasion?
Nope. He did some dark matches. That was it.
Because even Backlund, I was like,
Backlund, I remember he was managing. Yeah. He was managing and popping in and out at the time.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few people I'm questioning.
So what year are we talking here, though? I need a little bit more than this, because you're giving me this is a big gap. Whoever's on this list. Who am I cutting?
Whoever's on this list.
All right.
Yeah, I know they weren't all on the roster at the exact same time, but let's play benefit of the doubt here.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first, so you have some time to look at it, or
you want to go
to start shopping?
Go ahead. You want to give me yours?
Yeah. If I had to do cuts on here, I am cutting Bob Backlund. But in 97, Backlund's not needed.
The tag teams count as one or two people?
Go ahead and count him as one if you'd like.
Okay.
And in that case, I get to cut another one so in that case, my next one is actually a tag team, because I cut both Brian Adams and Brian Clark.
No, good call. Yeah.
Wrath can go fuck a duck. I was never a fan of Brian Clark to begin with. Wrath never did it for me. Brian Adams, don't get me wrong, I fucking love me some Crush, but if we're talking this era of Crush, 97 Crush I can fuck with.
Yeah.
But 2001 Crush can go suck a dick.
Fair.
So yeah, I'm cutting what was their name? Chronic. I'm cutting Chronic. Yeah. I'm cutting Bo Buchanan.
Oh, I love Bo Buchanan. I had a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
Don't you dare cut Golga or I'll punch you out.
I cut Golga. Fuck
Come on.
Golga. I'm sorry, man. Listen, I love me some John Tenta, but fuck Golga. I'm cutting me some Joey Abs. I'm cutting Hugh Morris.
Yeah, I would cut him as well.
This might be controversial because I know he's talented. I just never saw the it factor in him. I'm cutting Mark Jindrak.
He's on my list too. As I scroll here, he's on my list.
I'm cutting Nicole Bass.
Yep.
I am cutting the Cat.
Nope.
You wouldn't cut the Cat?
Speaking of the cat, Lucy the cat just took a big old shit right behind me, so this is going to be fun.
Well, you like Miss Kitty?
I did. I'd like Miss Kitty. She didn't do much for me, but she helped me through my teenage years. So for that,
when the fuck was George the Animal Steel on the fucking? Oh,
he was part of the oddities.
He was part of the oddities. Yeah. I get to cut one more because I counted Chronic as one.
I see a big one. I think that you should cut.
I think because there's some like obvious names that I'm like, but maybe they could be fucking saved and repackaged and changed, you know? Like I don't like Mike Awesome's character at this point, but Mike Awesome was great. So
yeah, I wouldn't cut Awesome. I'm surprised he didn't do more with Vince.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut fucking the other, not the other Mean Street Posse guy.
Pete Gas,
Rodney. Not Pete. I like Pete Gas.
Me too. He's a likable guy too.
Yeah, Joey Abs and Rodney can both suck a dick.
All right, fair. All right, I'm gonna start from the bottom of the list and work my way up. Then I'm gonna cut Tori. Xbox Tori and Kane's Tori.
Yeah, okay, I see that. Yeah,
I'm gonna cut her. She's never clicked.
I also always hated that outfit she wore, like the bodysuit.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. I'm going to cut Sean Stasiak.
Okay, good. That I'm okay with that. I thought you were gonna say Sean O'Hare, and I was gonna question you. But
no, I'll keep O'Hare. I'm gonna cut the Public Enemy.
Okay, I really gave thought to cutting them as well. I love them in ECW. They didn't do it for me in WCW, and they sure as hell didn't do it for me in WWE.
I will also cut Nicole Bass.
Yeah.
I will cut Mark Jindrak as well. I will cut, that's 5 I'm at. I will cut... As I scroll through the list here, I will cut Hugh Morris. 6. Golga, you are safe with me. Gene Okerlund was in there at the time. No shit, eh?
Well, he did WrestleMania. WrestleMania
17.
17, right? So
fair. I'm going to cut. Wow, this is getting tough now. I'm going to cut. Carl Ouellette is on this list. I'm going to cut him.
I couldn't cut PCO, man. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but at this time he wasn't PCO. So what's that? That's 7.
Yeah.
I'll cut Chronic as my 8.
Yeah.
I will cut. I want to say Ahmed Johnson. But like he had potential for a bit there.
He did. Granted, my favorite Ahmed Johnson stuff was all in '96, so maybe I could cut him in this era because he didn't really do much.
This one's going to pay me to do. I'm going to cut the Rock and Roll Express because it just wasn't. They just didn't fit in with the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And I've got one more. I've got.
What was their reason to be there? Pretty much just
they're doing the NWA stuff.
Just a feud with the new Rock and Roll Express, right? Or the new Midnight Express. I mean.
They were teamed up with Cornette for a bit. Yeah. I can't cut Barry Windham, even though he should be cut at this point.
No,
I love me some Barry Windham.
I could never cut Barry Windham.
I'm gonna go.
The same thing with the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, same
Legion of
here.
Doom didn't do a whole lot for me at this point in time, but I still couldn't cut them.
I'm gonna
Same
cut
thing with-
Ahmed. I'll
same
go with
thing with-
Ahmed for my last one.
I thought about cutting Fat Scott Hall, but he's Scott Hall.
Yeah,
I
I
couldn't
thought about
fire him.
Maven as well, but I had a soft spot for Maven.
Remind me to bring Adam on the show one day. Get him to tell his Maven story.
Oh,
He hates Maven with a passion.
I like to hear that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, like I could say Rick Rude too, but he was the only thing I liked about 97 DX. So
All right,
No,
yeah,
it's fun.
that was just my fun little let's fit stuff in. Why don't I got to get a drink? Why don't you tell people what our list is today and why we're doing the list?
yeah, so we're gonna do a little bit of Ring of Honor talk here. We went back and forth on a couple ideas. We talked about greatest rivalries in Ring of Honor, but it's just so much and so long. So we decided to kind of focus in on the Final Battle pay-per-view since that's going to be their final event. Mike's going to count down the top 7 Final Battle matches in Ring of Honor history, kind of a fitting way that they're ending with Final Battle because it is their big show that they do every year. It is called Final Battle, and it looks like this is going to be the final battle. The more that we're hearing coming out here, the debt that Sinclair Broadcasting is in with Ring of Honor, it's scary stuff, and it's making me a little bit worried that maybe we're not going to see Ring of Honor come back again. And I really hope that's not true. You know, when I Ring of Honor, especially like 2005, middle of 2004 to like the end of 2006, it's my like favorite time period of wrestling next to the Crockett era of wrestling. You know, when you had the title reign of American Dragon, you had the Ring of Honor versus CZW feud. You had Samoa Joe with his dominant title reign as well. Joe versus Punk, Joe versus Kabashi, like all this stuff during that time period in Ring of Honor. Like I said, next to that Crockett era from like 86 to like 89, those are my 2 favorite periods in wrestling history. I like Ring of Honor 2004 to 2007 better than the Attitude Era any day of the week.
Agree. I've said it 1,000 times. The Attitude Era is extremely overrated. People are just hanging on to their childhood. It's really what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up.
If anybody who really goes back and watches it, there are some good stories. Of course, there's awesome. Like I've talked about it 1,000 times. Austin McMahon is one of the greatest story ever told, but that's 1% of the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
you know, there are some good things, but there's a lot of shit.
Well, let's shift back over to Ring of Honor for a minute here, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I kind of talked about this a little bit off air with you, but you know, we always talk about the big dogs in Ring of Honor. Your Samoa Joes, your American Danielson. Wow, I'm only half a drink in. I'm only half a drink in, folks. It's going to be a long one. American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, your CM Punks, your Jay Lethals, your Briscoes. Like those are all like the heavyweights. But you know, looking back over Ring of Honor, who do you think some of the unsung heroes are in Ring of Honor that maybe they don't get that shine that they should get? Like, do you have any names that pop out? Do you even current roster, Mike?
First name that comes to my mind is Jimmy Jacobs.
Great call right off the bat. And you can even say BJ Whitmer in that same breath as well.
For sure. Matt Taven.
Yep.
Matt Taven is a definite one for me. Well, since I already mentioned Jacobs, might as well mention Tyler Black.
Yep. Yeah.
I would definitely call him an unsung hero. I think he does get a lot more credit than the other guys in Age of the Fall, but not as much as he deserves. I got
a couple that come to my mind. I'm going to say the American Wolves.
Okay, yeah.
I think they get lost in the shuffle. I know that they're both former world champions, but man, like, you know, when you're talking about the best tag teams in Ring of Honor history, it's always the Briscoes. Like the Wolves are right there with them, right? They're always talking about Steen and Generico and the Briscoes, and the Kings of Wrestling are another great one that kind of flew under the radar.
Kings of Wrestling, definitely. I was going to say as well, Claudio. I love Chris Hero, but Claudio, holy fuck.
Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong, we both call one of the greatest wrestlers to not be called one of the greatest wrestlers. You know what I mean? It's unfair. Kyle O'Reilly too. I've got a guy. Yes, he does get a lot of credit for his time in ROH, but only from his cult following, not from the masses. I'm going to say Colt Cabana.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Cabana was lined up with Punk for a long time there, but even still, like everyone, I don't know if Cabana got lost in Punk's shadow, people can say, or he just never got over to that level on his own. But Colt Cabana is one of the guys that put it on this map. I've got one that I don't know if you'll agree with or not, because a lot of people do say that he's on the Mount Rushmore, but not enough people say it, and that's Homicide.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
I think Homicide.
He doesn't. He gets the credit from the people who know, like when when you hear Ian Riccaboni talk about him every week, he talks about him like he's he might as well be Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? But he's not treated like that from the from the modern fan base, unfortunately. Alex Shelley is another one.
Yeah. Generation Next. What a stable that was. Austin Aries, Roderick Strong, Alex Shelley, and Jack Evans.
Listen, I know he's not Mr. ROH. Okay. He's known for his work in many other territories, but the work he put in ROH, I think he doesn't get the credit for, and that's AJ Styles.
Yeah, I'll say that. Who I thought you were going to say there was Steve Corino.
Yeah, well, Corino as well. I mean, just last week we were talking about how much I love Scum. So Corino's everybody knows how much I love Corino. It doesn't matter where he works. He's one of the best.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have any favorite Ring of Honor moments or any favorite Ring of Honor?
Again, that's so hard.
Like when you think of Ring of Honor, what comes to your mind when you think about Ring of Honor?
Because I've been so into the current product in the last 2-3 years, I unfortunately or fortunately think of a lot of the modern stuff right away, just because that's what I've been watching. Not because it's any better than the old stuff. I don't think it is, but right away, my first thought to this year's or last year's Pure tournament, the entire tournament. I think back to the Briscoes feud with the GOD, the Briscoes feud against each other this year was so fun.
And you can say that about almost any period of their careers. Like they had a couple really good feuds against each other.
Trust me, we're gonna talk some Briscoes tonight.
Sweet. I really like the Briscoes.
The Briscoes are, in my book, one of the greatest. They are the greatest tag team in the world to not be talked about as the greatest tag team in the world. Fair. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they never get put in that conversation because they've never been at the big show. You know what I mean?
I got one more question for you, and then I want to get to your list. And this one, again, I'm going to put you on the spot. So Ring of Honor, I'm not going to count the 6-man titles here in this one, but you've got the world heavyweight champion, you've got the pure champion, you've got tag team champions, and the television champion, right? Who do you think the best champion in each division was?
Come on, you're doing this to me right now.
I'll go first if you want some time.
The tag obviously is the Briscoes.
Yeah, not even a question.
That's hands down. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with our listener base and say that Samoa Joe's the greatest ROH champion of all time.
I think he's the most important, but I think Nigel's reign was better.
Oh, I'm willing to concede to that.
Nigel is my pick for the pure champion as well.
Gresham's for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know
he's my number 2.
It's the modern thing, but just the things Gresham has done to bring that back. He worked so fucking hard to make that title mean something again. Yeah. That it's got to be Gresham.
I don't know a lot about the Ring of Honor TV title. I'm not.
Neither do I. I was hoping. Yeah.
Get off the list on TV title.
Yeah. Speaking of lists, I am doing the 7 greatest matches in the history of Final Battle. And I know that you did mention that Final Battle will be their last pay-per-view last pay-per-view until the hiatus.
Do you think they come back?
I think they come back for a show in March. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know. I do think they have a show. Is there going to be anything after that show? I don't know. Is it, are we going to be wishing at that point that Final Battle was the last show? I don't know. But I think they're not going to give up like that. I don't think Sinclair is going to give up. And, everyone's talking about Sinclair's debt. I'm going to be honest with you, man. $12 million really ain't that much.
I mean, depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a deal St. Clair is, so.
Yeah. But, I wish somebody, instead of them just dying, I really wish somebody would just go and buy them.
The tape library alone. If you, and we've talked about
Sinclair, this. If I had $20 million in my back pocket right now, that'd be, you give Sinclair the $12 million to get them out of the hole. You give them some extra cash for the tape library. Give them some extra cash for everything to say I own ROH now.
Then you call Gabe.
Then you go and you buy back those contracts. Fuck Gabe. I'm running the show, baby.
Oh my god! If you want to see how Mike's run this show, just tune into Big Smoke Wrestling next week.
That's Maple Leaf.
Oh, sorry,
Pro.
Maple Leaf Pro.
Much.
Sorry, I drink a lot during there.
So let's just jump right into it. I'm a lucky boy, man. I got to watch a lot of really good wrestling this week. Watched a bunch of Final Battle matches. Some that I've been rewatching, and some that I watched for the first time. So it was really fun. My number 7 was extremely difficult because I fought between two matches.
Number 7 is the hardest for anyone listening to this. Number 7 is always the hardest one.
Number 7 went back and forth, and both matches involved the same man. This is going to be a hell of a list when no matter what, my number 7 was going to feature one of the greatest competitors in the history of Ring of Honor, and that's the American Dragon himself.
Ooh.
My number 7 comes from 2008, and that's Daniel Branson versus Murashima.
I love it. Is this the no holds barred one?
Yes.
This match is fucking awesome. And Hammerstein? Hammerstein. Is it Hammerstein yet? No, man.
Is it Hammerstein?
Is that whatever the bigger version is? Yeah, it is Hammerstein. It's not Manhattan Center. It's Hammerstein.
I can't remember. But anyways, the match itself, I'd never seen it before. I was never really interested in it before because I'm not a fan of Murashima. I don't know a whole lot of his career.
I like Murashima's ROH stuff.
I'm not a huge strong style guy, so I kind of stay away from certain guys. But this match was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. It was so much fun. I'm a big fan of Danielson's work in ROH compared to his work in WWE.
Me too.
His wrestling style. There's so much in his arsenal in Ring of Honor that he never used in WWE. One of my favorite moves ever that he used to do all the time was when his opponent would be sitting and he would get behind them and start using the elbows right to the chest. Love that move.
Mm-hmm.
And in this match, he wraps that chain around his arm and just starts going to fucking town. And if that's not enough, he uses the other move that he never used in WWE, one of the greatest submission moves in the fucking history of ROH, and that's the cattle decapitation.
Cattle mutilation.
Sorry. Yeah. Cattle decapitation is a metal band. The cattle mutilation, throws that on, and boom, Murashima is out and Danielson wins.
So
it's a great match. That's such a great move. You can tell me if this is right or wrong because I haven't been watching the product, but I've been told that Danielson brought that move back out in AEW.
He has brought cattle mutilation back. Yeah, absolutely, awesome. He has. So I want a couple points I want to touch on this match because this is something that I am familiar with. I have seen this match. But it's the build up to this match was really fantastic as well. After Danielson lost the belt, he took 6 months off to heal up. Mm-hmm. He returned at their first pay-per-view in a tag match with Nigel. I can't remember who teamed with who, but I think it was Murashima and Nigel against Danielson. And I don't remember who the other person was. I'm sorry. Then Danielson challenged Murashima for the title. And in the match, he broke his eye socket. Like he had a retina problem with it, right?
Mhm.
So they kind of built this rivalry up over time, and this was a blow-off match. It was a no DQ match, if I'm not, or a fight without honor, right? Is that what they call it?
Yep.
The first spot in this match is Danielson flipping into the crowd on Murashima. Like, you knew from the second that this match was going to start that it was going to be fucking awesome.
Exactly.
It was. These guys had great chemistry together. They didn't need the title on the line for this one. Murashima had lost the belt to Nigel by this point, I believe.
I think it was even better that Murashima didn't go in as the champion.
Yeah,
for this.
I agree with that. I agree.
Because
And Danielson didn't need the belt.
No, and it gave the match a bit more of a personal touch. It wasn't just like, okay, two guys fighting over a belt. It was personal, and it felt personal. I
love this match. It's one of my, I'd say it's in my top 10 favorite Ring of Honor matches of all time.
Wow, fantastic. My number 6 is, I don't know if you've seen this because it is quite recent. We're only going 2 years ago, and we're going to Final Battle 2019. My favorite all-time tag team versus my favorite current tag team, and we're going the Briscoes as the champions, defending against Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal.
I have not seen this match, but there's no way that this match can be bad.
We will make sure you see this match. It is just non-stop. Like, both teams give it their fucking all. It's incredible. You have basically the old guard in Jay Lethal, you know, bringing up this young puppy in Jonathan Gresham, saying, we can do this together. We can do this. They tell a great story just even without the Briscoes. And then the Briscoes come in, you know.
Who are the champs going in this match?
The Briscoes.
Okay.
And they're not walking out with them.
No, I knew that. Okay.
You know, the foundation walks out as champs in this in a great moment. And it's just a really great match. A lot of high flying shit, a lot of very violent shit. Very cool match. Very, very enjoyable. We're going to stay on a bit of a Briscoes kick here. My number 5, we're going to 2006. And we're doing the Briscoes versus the Kings of Wrestling, Chris Hero and Claudio.
Fantastic. I've seen this match. This is where Chris Hero and Claudio win the tag titles, right?
I don't remember if they actually, because I didn't get around to rewatching the match, unfortunately, this time around. But I don't know if they had the titles on the line.
I'm pretty sure that the finish of this match was that they hit one of the Briscoes in the ribs with like a briefcase. What year was it?
No,
this wasn't it.
No.
What year was this match? 2001?
2006.
Are you sure?
Yes. And the Briscoes win the match.
Okay, then I'm thinking of a totally different match.
Yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, I mixed it up. With a different match. I do apologize to our listeners.
There's a lot of really, really fun spots in this match. There's a great spot where Claudio has both Briscoes. Like, one Briscoe's legs are wrapped around his neck from the front, and the other Briscoe's legs are wrapped around his legs from the back, and he just starts spinning around like a fucking helicopter.
It's so crazy how he does that, eh?
Yeah, it's so good, man. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of near falls. Every time you think, there's a few times you think Chris Hero has, Jay down for it, and then something happens just at the split second, and really fun, really entertaining. Great wrestling match. For anybody who just doesn't understand how good Chris Hero is, go watch this match.
He's so good.
Everybody knows how good Cesaro is, okay? Everybody knows how good the Briscoes are. But if you've only been watching wrestling for a few years and you only know Chris Hero as Cassius Ohno, do yourself a favor and go to ROH and watch some Chris Hero stuff.
And while you're at it and watching this match, give a praise to Larry Sweeney. Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney was such a great, and it's such a tragedy with him. And
he plays a good role in this match.
He's so good. I love Larry Sweeney. Is one of the most underrated managers of all time.
Agreed. We're sticking to our Briscoes theme. We're going to my number 4 at 2014, and we have Jay Briscoe as the challenger for Adam Cole's ROH World Championship.
This match is on a long list of matches that I have never seen before that I really want to see.
Wow, dude, It's so fun. It's so violent. This is a fight without honor. There's a spot that I think everybody has seen done before, like in other matches, especially with the Bucks and stuff like that. But the way they do it, they sell it so well. Where Jay fills, or is it the other way around? No, fucking Adam Cole fills Jay's mouthful at thumbtacks and then super kicks him.
I like that spot.
Oh, me too. And I know a lot of people think of the Bucks when you see that spot, but I think of this match. It's so good. Very violent match. A lot of really cool like spots outside the ring and shit like that. And Jay wins the championship, and just it's a great moment for ROH in that moment. You know what I mean? Because Jay's an ROH boy, right? My number 3, talking about a great ROH moment. It's just one of those amazing. We thought it was a blow-off feud. We thought this was the end to a feud, but it wasn't. But I'm going to 2010, and I'm going Mask versus Career, Generico versus Steen.
That's a great match.
Now, I could have done Ladder War in 2012.
Yeah, I know you were debating between them.
This is just the better match, and unfortunately, spoiler: Ladder War didn't even get on the list.
I think you're gonna get some heat from that from some people, because that match was pretty crazy too.
It really was, but this is the superior match. I watched them both. There's so much more emotion in this one. I almost feel like I wish that Ladder War never happened, because this match happened first, and this was supposed to be the match that if Steen lost, that he retired. And he did lose, but obviously he didn't retire. But you almost wish he did. There's a great spot at the end that I fucking love, because the whole thing was about Generico's mask, right?
Yeah.
And Generico's mask has been ripped to shreds and it's falling off. And he's got this chair, and he's just about to take Kevin's head off. And Kevin takes out an El Generico mask from his pocket, and he folds it up in peace. He says, "Here, have it." And Generico just takes his fucking face off. It's a great
with the chair, right?
Yeah.
And that's the throwback to the start of their feud a year earlier.
Exactly,
right?
because
which
the
is
whole
really
thing
good
started
storytelling.
because
final battle against the Young Bucks.
Yeah, right. It's man, it's
storytelling, kids. Storytelling, kids.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's what wrestling's about. At least it used to be. You want to talk about storytelling? You want to talk about grudge? You want to talk about two guys who you believed hated each other for a while because they had so many great matches in their career. Is my number one, which I'm not getting to yet.
Oh,
because my number two, I skipped over my number two. My number
you could have got away with that too. You had me there.
My number two is just plain old a phenomenal wrestling match from two of the greatest wrestlers that have ever wrestled, ever. And if anybody wants to argue with me, come at me. Nobody can argue with me here. We're going to 2015, and it's Jay Lethal versus AJ Styles.
Oh, current Maple Leaf Pro Heavyweight Champion AJ Styles.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. This was a big time for AJ Styles. Do you remember a lot about what was happening going into this match?
I don't remember the story. I don't remember a lot of the story going into this.
Not even the storyline.
Fucking phenomenal.
Like AJ was like big time at this. He was the leader of the Bullet Club. He had just lost the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, I believe. He was really hurt. He was having very bad back issues to the point where he had two bookings. He had this one against Lethal, and then about 3 weeks later, he had the Tokyo Dome against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right.
And he canceled everything else in between those matches, just like to get himself ready as he could. He came into this match really hurt. He came into the Nakamura match really hurt. They are two of the best matches of his career. And then he debuted in the WWE about a month later. Or 3 weeks later, I should say.
I think he knew he had to scratch a few things off his bucket list before he was able to go to WWE. And listen, man, he's a smart enough guy to know that if he goes to WWE without that last match against Lethal, he might never get it again. And outside of the WWE, Lethal is one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet.
And this match had a lot of hype going into it too, right? Because AJ was on fire. The Bullet Club was the hottest thing in wrestling at this
in the
point.
world. Yeah.
And Lethal
100%.
was in the middle of this incredible title reign that he had.
And
everybody thought AJ was going to win the belt here.
He was becoming Mr. ROH at this time. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you look at ROH at this point in time. This is the beginning of the modern era. This is, you know, Danielson's gone, Samoa Joe's gone, Homicide's gone. All these major players in ROH are no longer there. But Lethal is still there. He's their champion. Other than like it's him and the Briscoes at this point, keeping the old guard, and nobody could touch Jay at this point. Nobody.
You know, a lot of people though don't understand AJ Styles' history with Ring of Honor either, right? Mm-hmm. He was there from almost day one. He was there. He had a legendary triple threat match against Paul London and Loki, I believe, at their first anniversary show. He is a former tag team champion with Amazing Red. He was the first ever pure heavyweight champion. And I guarantee you, if that stuff with Rob Feinstein didn't happen, old diddle boy, he would be a world champion in that company as well. Because they were really building towards him and Joe title, like pure title against world title. That was the direction they wanted to go.
I'm trying to remember too the history between these two guys. Did they, like, I know they had a handful, but did they have a lot of history in TNA together?
I don't think so.
Not really.
When Lethal was doing his Flair stuff, like they had a few matches, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
But they never, like, nothing that shined.
You would have thought that they both would have like been in the X Division killing it, but
AJ was out of the X Division by the time Lethal got in there, though, right?
Yeah. Right. Which brings me to my number one. I feel like we really sped through this list today, but this is just how good this shit is. You know, it's a good list when we go through it fast, because that means Tyler's not stopping me every 5 seconds telling me I'm a piece of shit.
Like, even if you fucked up this list, every match is still good. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I could argue on some orders here and there, but like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is just a winning list all around.
My number one is what I was alluding to before. You want to talk about a grudge match. You want to talk about violence. You want to talk about feeling. You want to talk about emotion. You want to talk about great storytelling. You got to talk about the year 2016, Kyle O'Reilly going up against the champion, Adam Cole.
Wow. Big match. Okay. I did not peg this to be your number one.
It's too good not to be my number one. It's such an amazing match. I rewatched it a few times. They had some great matches, very violent matches in ROH, and they're easy to kind of mush together like you did with the Kings of Wrestling and Briscoes.
Yeah,
you know, you like forget which match is which, but this particular match, it's so good. There's like there's spots where like O'Reilly's beating him down, and Cole just look at him and just like, come on, just this fucking look in their face. O'Reilly beats him. O'Reilly beats Cole for the world championship. And one of my favorite moments ever, our good friend Kerry Silkin gets in the ring, hands Kyle O'Reilly the world title, and gives him a big hug. It's a beautiful moment. If it's 2016, I'm going to say this is probably Adam Cole's goodbye. Right? That makes about sense. No,
Cole beat O'Reilly at the Tokyo Dome a few weeks after this.
Oh, okay. All right. But it's anybody who hasn't seen this match needs to see this match. It's two of the greatest wrestlers of the last decade, in a company where they were allowed to be the two greatest wrestlers of the decade. You know me, I'm not one of the ones to shit on WWE all the time, but Kyle O'Reilly is not getting his due over there. I'm sorry, he's not.
I mean, he's had some banger matches though over there.
Yeah, no, he has. He's just not been the Kyle O'Reilly that I remember from ROH.
I think, I think the last 2 years he's ever since that match with Finn Balor, I thought he's really kind of stepped it up.
Oh, okay. I unfortunately I still haven't seen that match with Finn Balor.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I do have a handful of honorable mentions. Do you want me to jump through them first, or do you have
You
any
go
off
through
the
them. I
top of
got
your
a
head?
couple, so I'll see if you got
Yeah?
them on there.
All right. Well, my first one, we're going to go to 07, and we're talking about our boys, the Briscoes, again, as they take on the Age of the Fall in Jimmy Jacobs and Tyler Black. 2005, just a fucking banger of a match in Kenta versus Loki.
I love that match.
I did put on the 2012 ladder war between Steen and Generico. The match that was in contention for my number 7, instead of Danielson versus Murashima, it was almost Danielson versus Homicide from 2006.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a phenomenal match. I just don't like the finish.
Fair. The
It's
lariat?
It's no, yeah, well, yeah, but the Danielson wins and then they restart the match, and then I don't like that shit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. So that takes me out of the match. The lariat was fine. You know, him winning without lariat, cool. But if it would have just happened straight in the match, I would have been better with it. Austin Aries versus Joe. Listen, say what you want about the match. It's great. I can't make my list for one reason only. I don't like Austin Aries.
I'm fair.
I'm just not a fan. Same reason the next match couldn't make my list. A ladder war in 2018 between the Briscoes, SCU, and the Bucks. Just because I'm not a fan of the Bucks.
That match was good though.
Pure and simple. Last match on my list, on my honorable mentions, is just it's kind of a D cup from way back in 2003, and we're looking at a guy who made his return to Ring of Honor just in the last year, in John Walters, as he took on Xavier. Really good fucking match if you haven't seen it.
Okay, fair. The same year, I've got two here that I'll go through. The same year that Loki and Kenta fought, Bryan Danielson fought Marufuji on the same card.
Okay.
Very good match. And I've got one here, Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards. It's where they went about 40. They went 41 minutes. I believe it's where Davey Richards wins the world title finally.
You know what? We should have mentioned Davey Richards earlier in the conversation when we were talking about, you know, people who don't get their credit.
I did. I said the American Wolves.
Oh,
my
you
first
did say
name.
the American Wolves. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But even Davey Richards as a solo star, as a singles competitor.
Have you ever seen his match against Tyler Black in Toronto at Death Before Dishonor?
No.
That is one that you need to put at the top of your list. It's literally one of the best. You could say that a million times. One of the best Ring of Honor matches.
You were at that show, yeah?
I was not.
Oh, you were.
I was not. No, I missed so many Ring of Honor Toronto shows. If I could go back in time, man, I just kicked myself because at the time I wasn't into New Japan Pro Wrestling. I didn't know anything about it. Right. And I just look at the names that came to Toronto: Okada, Nakamura, like Nato. Like I'm like, what the hell, man? Like I could have saw all these guys. Like I have seen Liger live before, so like that's fine. But like, oh man, I kicked myself. But I have been to 4 Ring of Honor shows, 5 Ring of Honor shows, 4 or 5 Ring of Honor shows. They've never put on a bad one. I saw the first Ring of Honor show in Toronto where Kevin Steen fought Nigel for the title, which was awesome. Yeah. I saw them in the Markham Fairgrounds where Kenny Omega fought Tyler Black and Bryan Danielson in a 3-way, which was awesome.
Last week, yeah.
And the main event was Kevin Steen and El Generico against the Briscoes, the first time they had fought since the ladder war, and the first time that they had fought with the Briscoes as the challengers, which I thought was cool. What else did I see them do? I won tickets from Live Audio Wrestling. I saw it was the main event of Kevin Steen versus Michael Elgin for the world title. And that was the one where they did the angle where Steen got that package and opened it up and it was Generico's mask. That signaled the return.
Man, I hate the fact because good chance with everything going on with Elgin, there's a good chance we'll never see him live again. But I hate the fact that I've only gotten to see Elgin live once ever.
Me too.
But he didn't wrestle.
Oh, that sucks.
I saw Elgin make his Impact debut.
Oh yeah.
When he came out after Brian Cage beat Johnny Impact for the title, and then Elgin came out to face off with Cage, and it was an awesome moment to be there in Toronto and seeing Elgin come out at the time. But knowing now I'll probably never see him wrestle live like that kind of sucks.
Yeah. The undercard for that Elgin Steen match had a fantastic match between Jay Lethal and Davey Richards as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, big time. Man, I love Ring of Honor. It makes me sad what's going on with it.
It makes me very sad. I wish nothing but the best. There was a rumor, and as far as I'm concerned, it is just a rumor now, put out there that Jonathan Gresham has signed with AEW.
Mr. Hughes put that on his Instagram, but he's since deleted it.
Okay, so I think maybe Mr. Hughes got some bad information, then jumped the gun about it, or maybe he found out and then wasn't supposed to say anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Maybe Gresham's like, fucking shut your mouth, dude. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Hughes had something to do with Gresham's training or something.
I think they're like, I think they've got a connection somehow.
Yeah.
You sent me a link of Moose pushing to get the Briscoes and Lethal and Impact,
which I think is a great move. I think that's a genius move. The Briscoes in Impact would be phenomenal. That tag team division could use the Briscoes 100%. I love that.
I have one that first of all, I would love to see the Briscoes fight FTR once. I don't want the Briscoes to go to AEW. I just want to see that match.
Sure.
I know you don't like FTR. I think they're so good. I've got one, we talk about all these wrestlers, but I'd like to see Ian Riccaboni go to GCW and have him and Lenny Leonard be the commentating team there.
I don't,
or even the NWA.
I see. Listen, I love the idea. I do, but being a GCW fan, their current lineup of KG and Dave Prazak really works for me, because it's homegrown.
I thought that I thought Lenny Leonard was doing a lot of GCW shows.
He jumps in.
Okay.
So they have their two guys. They have Prazak and they have KG. These are their guys. Then every once in a while, if Lenny's in town, Lenny will come and do it as a three-man.
Okay.
If they don't have Lenny, they sometimes get Schlack, who's a big who's one of the deathmatch guys. If Schlack's not on the card, Schlack will just go and start doing commentary with those guys. And every once in a while, depending on the match, they'll get a big star in, like they had Mick Foley do the Mox Gage match. You know what I mean? So yeah, Lenny's been doing it, but it's not just him and another guy. It's always part of a three-man.
Okay. What about Ian to Impact? Do you like Matt Stryker at Impact, or?
I do.
I thought Stryker's been good at Impact as well.
Impact, like here's the
NWA's got to get it because they need to commentate.
Maybe NWA, because Ian Riccaboni is the greatest commentator going on right now. NXT, and I don't watch it lately, so I don't even know who's doing the work over there. So maybe.
What if Ian became our co-host? Third wheel.
There you go. Woohoo!
All right, Ian. Congratulations. We'll be in contact with your people. Welcome to the Canada.
I mean, he is working for Maple Leaf Pro.
There you go.
That's
good enough.
Yeah, I don't.
I heard the paydays are not very good over there, though.
Because I pay him in Canadian dollars. I mean, what do you want?
Oh shit! Well, speaking of that, make sure you guys hit the archive. Check out my booking episode 2 of Count Out Wrestling. It's up there right now. Check out all of Canadian Pro Wrestling. Check out all of our old interviews, all of our old episodes. It's all on the www.countout7.com.
Absolutely. And you know what? I know you're not a big writer. You don't like writing. I'm putting you on the spot here, but I'm going to get you either to do it like write a little blog or do a little video log. I'd love for you to put something on our webpage to just kind of round up your experience at the Lost Berry Wrestling Show. We didn't really talk about it today.
Yeah,
but instead of putting it on this show, I think our listeners are we talk about Berry Wrestling enough to. I think they want to know. Maybe next show, I will definitely be at the next Berry Wrestling Show on December 4th, which is a very, very special show. If you are in Ontario, please try to get a ticket to this show in Barrie.
Double shot.
It's a double shot. There's 2 shows in one day, and the second show of the day is a charity event where all the money is going to help out the family of hacker Scotty O'Shea. So that's a big one.
And the first part of the show is also a charity show for a Christmas organization. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
But it helps families in need and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And they're really loading up. The finals of the All Ontario Cup are going to be on the first half of the show. Nova returns to the show. Some great angles are going to come to a head there. Puff and Pretty Ricky are going to fight. Holden and Corey Stone are going to have a hardcore match, which is going to be wild.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. I'm really excited. I think it's the most excited I've been for a show.
I think maybe we'll go live that day or something because we need to do something special for our listeners on that day. Unless
December
you're there.
4th. Yeah.
Unless you're there. If you're listening, man,
come buy a
you don't want
t-shirt.
to listen to us live. Come over to the show, man. And if you're at the show, come say hi.
Yeah, come buy a t-shirt.
And buy a t-shirt.
All right, man. So next week, I'm going to do a list next week based around Survivor Series because that's coming up. I'm going to do one that's kind of fun. Survivor Series has got a lot of debuts on it.
Very true.
I'm going to be counting down the top 7 Survivor Series debuts of all time.
All right. Rocky Maivia.
Right. Kurt Angle, the Gobbledygooker, the Undertaker. There's a lot of shit going on in Survivor Series, man.
I won't lie. I was watching TSM was showing old footage the other day of the very first Raptors game.
Oh, no kidding.
Did you happen to see that? No,
I didn't see
it. So when they were unveiling them, did you ever see them unveil the mascot for the Raptors?
I never saw them unveil a mascot. I saw them unveil the logo and Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, well, they were unveiling the mascot, and these big, muscly, fucking shirtless dudes come walking out with like one of those fucking things, like they used to carry.
I did see this actually. Yeah, the egg,
and it's a giant egg, and the fucking things inside. And I was just like, holy fuck! The Raptors mascot was the Gobbledygooker.
Those fucking Guerreros are getting everywhere.
Right,
man.
exactly. Either that or it was King Mabel.
Oh fuck! Well, just the egg, or
King Mabel and an egg.
I mean, that's a draw. The Undertaker thought he was going to be Eggman. Did you ever hear that story?
Oh yeah, he told that on the Austin thing. But then it's still Hector Guerrero inside of King Mabel. It's really weird.
Well, I mean, Mabel was the world's largest love machine for a while.
He was. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going off the rails here.
Then you got a little Latino heat.
You want to take this home?
Let's take it home and we've plugged everything. It's late. Let's do this.
www.canada7.com.
On behalf of Final Battle, we're not ready to say goodnight and goodbye to ROH yet. There's still a few months, but we'll do another ROH show in March probably.
And we're going to do an ROH show that Mike is making his debut on Match Classroom. I'm putting together something special for the history of ROH.
Yeah, but this is the first part of our several month-long tribute to the end of an era.
Yeah, I want to do an ROH list, not next week, but the week after. I'm going to do one.
All right. On behalf of Final Battle and the 7 greatest matches of that pay-per-view, we have been counted out.
Cheers.